Picture a Viking woman, warrior. What do you see? Probably something like this. A stunning blonde in a metal bikini corset, flowing hair in the wind, and a sword somehow bigger than her entire bodies. Hollywood has been selling us this image for decades. From horned helmet extras to slow-motion battle goddesses straight off a fashion runway. Here is the problem. Real Viking women who actually fought looked nothing like that. The truth, backed by bones, DNA, and 1,200-year-old graves, is far more impressive than anything Hollywood ever invented. Today, we're investigating one of the hottest debates in modern Norse studies. Did Shield-Maidens actually exist? Real women of flesh and blood, who held not a spindle, but a sword. We'll break down three things: what the Old Norse sagas say, what real archaeological finds tell us, and where exactly the line between fact and fantasy runs. Stay until the end, because in the final section, I'll tell you about a discovery that forced historians to rewrite the textbooks. The Norse sagas are not fairy tales for children. They were oral chronicles that Vikings passed down from generation to generation as the living memory of a people. And in those chronicles, they appear again and again: skjaldmær, Shield-Maidens, women who chose the warrior's path over the path of a wife. The most famous of them, Hervor. In the Hervarar saga, she disguises herself as a man to claim the cursed sword of her fallen father straight from his burial mound. At night, alone, on an island of the dead. Not exactly timid, right? Or Lagartha, a shield maiden who, according to the chronicler Saxo Grammaticus in the 12th century, fought in the front lines at the Battle of King Ragnar Lothbrok. Yes, that Ragnar. If you've watched the show, you know her. She's arguably more interesting than he is. But wait. Saxo Grammaticus wrote his Gesta Danorum roughly 300 years after the events he described. Could he have embellished? Absolutely. So the sagas give us an image. But does an image give us proof? This is where the real detective work begins. Throughout the 19th and 20th centuries, burials with full battle gear were found across Scandinavia: swords, shields, spears, hundreds of such graves, and all of them were labeled male without a second thought. The logic was simple: weapons equal man. End of discussion. That's called confirmation bias, and it cost us over a century of answers. But in 2017, researcher Anna Kjellström and her team conducted DNA analysis on the famous burial BJ 581 in Birka, Sweden. This burial had been known since 1878. It contained 2 war horses, a sword, an axe, a spear, a shield, and pay attention, a set of chess pieces, indicating a person who planned strategies and commanded others. A model warrior leader, called he for over a century. The DNA results showed XY chromosomes, 0. This was a woman. This is the first scientifically confirmed skeleton of a female warrior with a full battle burial. Some immediately tried to find a way out. Maybe the weapons belonged to a man from the same grave, but the burial was single. Maybe it was a symbolic grave. But bone trauma indicates real combat-related stress on the body. Science doesn't lie, even when it's inconvenient. All right, One confirmed female warrior is a fact. But was she an exception or part of a pattern? Recent studies suggest that approximately 5 to 8% may turn out to be female if full DNA analysis is conducted. Most have never been tested because nobody thought to ask. This doesn't mean half the Viking army was made up of women, but it absolutely means that a woman with a weapon in hand was not a skjald's fantasy. It was a reality. However rare, Norse society of that era was harsh, but more flexible than we tend to assume. Women managed estates, traded, traveled. Some clearly fought. And here's the part that should bother us. For over 1,000 years, these women existed in the historical record, in graves, in sagas, in place names. And we kept missing them. Not because the evidence wasn't there, because we weren't looking. Modern archaeology is finally changing that. DNA analysis, isotope tracing, facial reconstruction. Every result gives back a name that history erased. The picture of the past becomes more honest. And here's where we come full circle, that metal bikini from the beginning. The film industry didn't just get the costume wrong. It missed the entire point. Hollywood turns Shield-Maidens into fantasy objects, beautiful and ultimately decorative. But the woman buried in BJ 581 wasn't decorative. She was a commander, a strategist, someone whose companions buried her with war horses and a full arsenal, because that's who she actually was. For 130 years, scholars looked at that burial and saw a man, because weapons simply couldn't belong to a woman in their worldview. How many more mistakes like this are still in our textbooks? Shield-Maidens may never have made up entire armies, but they existed. They fought. They deserved to finally be seen. Not in a corset, but in the armor they actually earned. So, let's return to the central question. Are Shield-Maidens myth or reality? The answer is both. First, the sagas describe female warriors consistently and across multiple independent sources. These are not random characters scribbled in the margins. Second, the BJ 581 burial in Birka confirms it. A woman with full battle gear and strategic status existed in the real world of the Viking Age. Third, we have most likely underestimated their numbers. Because for decades, we weren't even asking the right questions. The legend grew from reality. And the reality turned out to be worthier than the legend. Unlike anything Hollywood will ever put on screen.